Hello.
Welcome, one and all, to this spooky episode of Talk to Transformer. Today, we are going to prompt an AI into giving us a frightening tale. Our first tale happens on a dark and stormy night. A taxi driver picked up a girl and drove her out of town. That's honestly the scariest sentence I've ever read.
It is.
For a beginning of a spooky story. She didn't know where she was, but she had an awful feeling in her stomach. Still, all right, I'm on the edge of my seat because it could be constipation, like diarrhea, anything, you know?
Yeah.
I'm imagining horrific things happening to her bowels.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She knew she
That's
was
so
in big
scary.
trouble when the cab stopped in front of a white building. She opened the door and got out. Oh my God. She walked up the steps and opened the door. She entered into a dark room and sat down on a wooden chair. The old man at the front desk began. All right, here we go. I'm going to generate a little bit more.
You don't want to sit down on a wooden chair when you got tummy issues.
Oh no. Okay, here we go. Here's a little bit more. Began talking. Welcome, miss. You must be new here? He said in a gravelly voice. That wasn't gravelly, sorry. I didn't read ahead. I guess so, she replied. The old man said,
Well then, where would you like to go?
I don't know, the girl replied, her voice quivering. I didn't read
You didn't
ahead.
quiver!
I didn't quiver. I'm not reading ahead. Is this the guy again?
Well, all I can tell you is that you're driving me in this cab from somewhere. It's somewhere important. I don't know where, but I can guess. But you're in big trouble if you
If you what, mister?
don't know what I'm talking about.
He replied. The little girl started to relax a little. She had to at least try to figure out. It's still scrolling. Okay, I'm gonna give it a time here. She had to at least try to figure it out. She didn't want to end up back on the dark and stormy night again. Oh no! Don't go back on the dark and stormy night.
Your tummy, no!
If I'm on the dark and stormy night, my tummy's gonna act up.
It's gonna explode.
She put her hand on the knob of the door and began to turn it. She opened it a little more and let out a gasp. Oh, it could have been a little quiff. And she saw the room she was in. It was the very same room she had seen when she was. Oh boy. Brought in. This is a dream. I must be dreaming. I'm so stupid I've fallen for that trick. Oh, please. This is all a dream. She began to cry and fall to her knees. Please help me. Her last thoughts were the ones of happiness. Oh, that's good. Of the old man waiting for her to realize that the dream was over. When she didn't, he would torture her. Okay.
Oh no.
She woke up suddenly and sobbed. I'll leave it there. I mean,
What a
that's
spooky tale.
that was spooky.
Yeah.
It was all a dream, guys. All a spooky dream. All
It was
right.
very spooky.
You guys want to send me a prompt and we'll do another one?
Roger,
Yeah.
didn't you say one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, either
Yeah.
either tell me it or just copy it into the command center. I'll
Fucking-
copy paste it.
In a dank, dark crevice.
Spell crevice for me. Crevice.
There you go. There's a comma between dank and dark. Excuse me.
Sure. Okay.
So if grammar works.
Do you want like a ellipses? What do you want? Punctuation man.
In a dank, dark crevice.
Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna generate it.
Yeah. Okay,
There you go,
good.
Bradshaw.
Oh.
Alright, so I will read this. In a dank, dark crevice, far beneath Blackmore, Anka waited. She she'd been here, waiting more times than she cared to remember. Now the mist from the underground springs seeped around her ankles, the whisper of the underground river beyond. It was magic, she decided, that allowed her to remain in this place, and also allowed her to stay in one place. One time it had taken her a fortnight to figure it out. This time, she knew it would only take her a few hours. And after she retrieved Lucan's weapon and put a stop to Matthias' plans,
Whoa.
she could retreat again. She should feel more guilty about leaving Lucan behind, about not trying to free him from captivity. But she was far too tired to feel regret. She just wanted to get through this fight and start her life again. And damn the speed at which she'd gotten it back together. Sabely banged on the door again. Sibel banged on the door again.
Sibel, yeah.
Anka? Open up. Lucan needed her. But she'd put him through enough turmoil these last few weeks. They were supposed to go on a simple mission to locate an ancient artifact and return it safely. Anka wasn't ready to leave. If Bram hadn't made her leave immediately after that final fight with Matthias, she would have stayed.
This is cool. All these names are awesome.
Nice.
She had to make him understand. Anka ducked her head, twisted the lock, and pushed open the door. Come in. The bell tiptoed into the room. Are you all right? The only thing not for sale on Earth is the magic kind heirloom. I know you mean well, but Matthias has it. He'll sell it to the highest bidder, so keep out of my way. Wise, Sibel smiled. But can you really think about anything other than retrieving your mate and bringing him back? Anka closed her eyes and nodded. You are right. I must. Sibel hovered over Anka's desk and slid her hands across the surface, searching for the box of heart-shaped jade earrings. They had been something to give her mother in celebration of her wedding. She and Shock had been planning to find her a gift today, but she was so frightened of Matthias finding out what she was doing and intercepting her gift before she gave it to Matthias. The earrings are gone. If Matthias has those, he won't let you go. He'll abduct you again, and once he has the earrings, there's no telling what he'll do. He could rape you.
Oh my god.
Something worse. No. He'd kill me in an instant, Anka said. Sibel, Jock's angry voice.
I think we'll leave it there. I did a lot because I wanted to find a good ending, but
Shock.
I know, it just kept going, dude. Kept building.
it kept building. There was some good stuff. Let's just do one more time to see what it does.
Okay. Jock's angry voice boomed into the room. Anka turned. Lucan's gaze was narrowed, the same look he wore now. Is she being forced to stay here? Shock growled. That wasn't much of a growl. Is she being forced to stay here? Shock growled. He stood just inside the door, hands fisted at his sides, his arms bulging. Come with me now, or she goes back to Matthias. Lucan closed the distance between them. With the shake of his head, he turned away and stalked off, leaving Anka alone to deal with Shock. I'm not letting you go, love. She won't let you either, Sibel muttered. It's up to you now. If you won't let me stay to help you, I'll go with Lucan. Damn you, Lucan, if you don't go, Sibel cried out. Stay, please, Lucan called over his shoulder. Fuck off, Sibel cursed. Have you no heart, my lord, to care for that woman? The woman needs help and will...
I think we're gonna have to end it.
No, dude,
It's like
keep going.
this AI just loves to build this tension.
It is, dude.
All right,
This is good though. I
that
like
was,
this.
That was pretty good.
That
That
was
was made me spooky a little bit. Let's get
Yeah.
really descriptive with spooks. Okay, give me something.
Okay.
Give me something very spooky.
I got a descriptive one for you.
Okay.
She screamed as the axe broke through the door, blood dripping down the splintered wood.
All right, give me a second. I gotta peck this out.
Here, hold on. I'll type it really quick.
Did you? Okay, yeah. If you got it. The prompt is: she screamed as the axe broke through the door, blood dripping down the splintering wood.
Splintering.
You want me to read this?
Yeah, go ahead.
She screamed as the axe broke through the door, blood dripping down the splintering wood. She kicked and screamed, a high-pitched, helpless sound. This time, when he finished, he stood there with his finger outstretched, a rictus smile on his thin lips. Like it? You should. I'll just tell you one more time. And the screaming ceased. Okay, he said. Look, sweetheart, I really need to get going. Can I come back tomorrow, just this one time? She walked into the kitchen and... leaned against the counter. She hadn't heard so much death and carnage since that old woman in school, the one with the cancer. Maybe that's why he liked her house. Maybe she reminded him of her. Maybe he came back a second time, alone this time. He paid her $10 and told her to keep the change. Then he kissed her and left. She didn't see him again until today. She sat in the kitchen, a six-pack on the table in front of her. Beer always cheered her up.
Where's this axe come in?
I know.
Right?
She was about to open a can when she heard the front door open and close. She
Not a
looked up
can.
from the can. Her roommate wasn't home yet. Had he come back? She took a few swigs from the beer and went to see. He was at the door. The first thing she noticed was the bags under his eyes. He was so tired, just as she had been the last time she saw him. Are you okay? She asked, looking down at his arm, torn and bleeding, the sharp steel ringing like a gunshot in her ears.
Whoa.
Then she looked into his bloodshot eyes. She shook her head. Don't worry about it, she said. Okay, then. Then she closed the door in his face. A moment later, the sound of a car door slamming shut. An engine starting to pierce the silence. It didn't stop. It kept going. The only indication that someone was in the house were the ever-present creaks and groans. He had been back. That much was obvious.
He's back. Hold on.
She
Don't
didn't
worry
know what
about
to do. She went into the bedroom and grabbed the axe and a screwdriver, just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Just
She
in
followed
case.
the sound of the engine down the driveway and out onto the street. She stood in the middle of the street for a moment and heard the motor still running. For the first time, she really wished she still had her mace, though she wasn't sure why. When it came to time to meet with Julie Bears,
Bears.
Bears. Bears.
with Julie Byers, I was fairly calm. Of course, I had prepared. I had downloaded every article I could find.
Fish.
I had downloaded every article I could find about fan fiction and had devoured the ones I could find on Etsy and eBay. I was ready. I didn't know if I was going to hate. I didn't know if I was going to hate the meeting, but I was prepared for it. I got there early, which is the best way to meet people, to give them time to get there and unstow their luggage. I waited, calm and serene, and the time ticked by. Finally, I spotted her at the corner. A gorgeous blonde in a patterned jacket with a loose pencil skirt and a fur-trimmed satchel. She was the very picture of European chic.
I think
Okay.
we'll end it there.
Turned.
That was pretty good.
It kept building as if it was gonna get suspenseful or like
Well, I
scary
like
in some way, and then it ended with a joke of like, and then she shut the door in his face.
shut the door in his face, and then she grabbed the axe and a screwdriver. Why not?
She in the
went.
car outside, and she's like, oh, "He's back."
I better go to this meeting about fan fiction.
I just have been eating up so much fan fiction lately. I gotta go to this meeting.
Etsy and eBay.
When it came
You
to
know, the
meet
place where
Julie
you read fan fiction.
Bears.
Bears.
Julie Byers.
Julie Bears.
She always gets there early so she can meet people.
All right, for this one, give me like Give me 3 characters. We'll jump on this together and
3 characters.
yeah. So like Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Mummy, or the Wolfman, or something like that. And like give me a prompt that give me a springboard, everybody.
Wolfman. I like Wolfman.
Should we say like the Wolfman or something?
Edgar Wolfman.
I say we just take the chance and go Wolfman. Just
Wolfman.
see what it thinks of that.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. And Dracula walk into a bar.
Yeah, and Dracula.
Walk.
No. Just put Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula. Like
that's the prompt.
Well, they're doing something. So like Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula. Let's try to make it a little, like, give it a little nudge in the horrific.
Or playing
so
poker
like,
or something.
Looked down upon their victims. I don't know.
Yeah, something they could all
Murder. Murder.
Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula
gaze upon their victims.
Began to stalk the town.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
The city, town, village, town.
The village. Village is spookier.
He's right,
It is.
Yeah.
It's super, super scary. Okay. Generate text.
Villages are spooky. Oh, who's gonna read this one?
I'll do the first.
I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You can go ahead,
Okay.
Rocho.
All right. I like reading.
Every generate somebody else will start that.
Switch off.
Yeah.
Okay. Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula began to stalk the village. Wolfman killed the best man in the village, a favorite of Dracula's, and it was over. Bud and the village had a reputation of a people who kill first and ask questions later. It was time to live up to our reputation. After our long ride, I started off on my bicycle to capture the sense of the village as it lay before me. Tall, majestic trees towered up against the sky. They must have grown
even taller while I was dreaming my lie. The trees, the pond, the place where I'd stayed in the church, all of it seemed so distant, and I knew that it was just a dream. But as I pedaled, I thought that if I were really to die at any moment, I'd take these memories with me. No one knew me or what I was doing here, and I didn't have to face the consequences of a sudden, horrible death, which would
be in my dreams. I heard the sound of my friends coming down the street. I hid my bicycle and called out to them. They knew I was here, so they started looking around for me. I thought I'd better get a move on and start my way to Lincolnville before they found me. There was no point in hiding anymore, and it was time to face the consequences of my act. If I lived through this, it'd be
time to move on. Glad I'm not a kid anymore. Got to keep up with the rest of the gang or they'll think you're a wimp. Of course they already think you're a wimp. Like that army brat who took the heifer to the fair. He headed out of sight and I headed towards the farmhouse. I wasn't sure what I had to tell them. I didn't know who they were, but I had to try and explain that I didn't know.
What was going on? The farmhouse was surrounded by a heavy forest. I felt like I was walking into a fairy tale. There was a house behind tall trees and a farmhouse just past it. I wasn't in any hurry as I passed the lawns and gardens that surrounded the big white house. The large doors to the farmhouse stood open, revealing a light and inviting atmosphere inside. I followed the brick. Oh no!
Oh! The true horror!
Oh
a
no!
$20 subscription!
Bullshit, guys. Well, maybe I can dial it down to I'll dial it down to 160. No, I have 200.
You don't get any more.
Look, I have
You don't get
256 characters left.
No, you don't get any.
Just give me a little bit more.
You pay me money.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
I just want a few, just a couple vowels, if anything.
Well, honestly, that seemed like it was trying to be Monster Squad. Have you guys seen that? Like it.
I haven't.
Yeah, it was about a kid on a bicycle in kind of like a creepy town.
Squad of monsters.
Yeah, and the Monster Squad is, I don't know if Lincolnville was the name of the town that they were in, but it seemed like it was trying to make a Monster Squad movie or a story.
Or like Stinkinville, am I right?
At a certain point, though, it was like a
Stupid.
Don McLean song.
Yeah, kind of.
Like, he just, I forget where it starts. Yeah, it starts like right there, like, gotta keep up with the rest of the gang or they'll think you're a wimp. Like, of course.
Like that army brat who took the heifer to the fair.
Yeah.
I could see it, man.
Or to like a Bob Dylan song.
Yep. And like that army brat who took the heifer to the fair.
We headed out of sight and I headed toward the farmhouse.
The farmhouse was surrounded by heavy forest.
I wasn't sure what I had to tell them.
I felt like I was walking into a fairy tale.
I didn't know who they were, but I had to try and explain that I didn't know what was going on.
I followed the brick.
Oh.
The farmhouse was surrounded by heavy forests.
Well, that sucks that it gave us a limit. I didn't notice that until just now, so...
Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula began to stalk the village.
I think we got some kind of eerie stories out of that for the most part, but
It was in the mood.
it was in the tone, I guess, of some spooks. The tension in that one about the axe, that one was there.
There's some spook.
And the dank forest, or the dank whatever it was, that was pretty spooky.
Yeah, I guess so.
I like the names. The one that Bracho had with all the names, like
Yeah.
Well, it was sort of
Lucan,
Draculean, because like there were Matthias and Bram,
and yeah,
and obviously
Lucan.
Bram Stoker. And in one of the Castlevania games,
Sibel.
the bad guy is Matthias.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sibel.
There was just great names in that one, I would say. The story was weird.
I like how in this one, by the third line, it's already like adding characters. And Spud!
Might as well throw Spud in there. Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula. And then Spud! Spud of the village had a reputation. Spud could be a
fucking
character.
Spawn.
I always like AI stuff. It's always fun.
It is fun, because you never know what you're going to get. It's always a nice surprise. Stupid character limit. Alright. Well, that was our...
I like your numbers.
That was our spooky Halloween-themed AI Talk to Transformer story time. I hope everybody enjoyed and had some spooks this holiday season.
Heck yeah.
I hope you've got robots telling you scary stories this Halloween.
Goodbye, everybody, and
So long.
may the spooketh be upon you.
Keep it spooky, everybody.
Bleh.
Goodbye.